Welcome back to the 393 Legacy, a Guerrilla podcast. We are back at it for another episode. We've got Kennedy McMillen with us on the episode, and we will visit with her in a minute. But it is the week before spring break, and so it is wonderful that we are no longer going to see that white stuff, and we don't have to go to school longer like some of our counterparts around. But we're excited that the spring weather is upon us, which means spring sports. And so spring sports will start up next week, or this coming week here on the 10th of March. And so they will get going. I know we've got spring break there. They get some soft start, and then they'll come out in full force then, obviously coming back out of spring break. We also have a few other events. We have, of course, driver's ed meeting, which is very, very important for those that would like their teenager to get a driver's license. Very important that you're at that meeting at 6 o'clock on Monday in the Commons, and you'll get a chance to meet our teacher. And the classes are in April, so we want to make sure we get that done. Gets out of the summertime and everybody's vacations, and so we'll get that out of the way. As well, we have Board of Education meeting at 7 o'clock on Monday night. And on Tuesday is our junior high Wheat State League Music Festival. And so they'll be headed down there during the day and competing and hopefully getting ones and 1+s and whatever else they give out there. And then, of course, next Friday's the last day before spring break. And then we will take a hiatus away from the podcast next week. And so you will see us coming back out of there on March 24th. We'll be back in school. So welcome, Kennedy, to the podcast. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Okay, so we're at spring break time. I've got to ask, are you going to be the first one? How many days until we graduate?
So I have it written in both my planner and my phone.
Yeah.
My phone has like days until graduation, and then on my planner it has like school days. So I think after spring break it'll be 30-some school days.
There you go, 30-some. So the first one to answer is Kennedy. So you get the award right there. So perfect. Kennedy, tell everybody. Sorry, I didn't even introduce you. So Kennedy McMillen, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
So I'm a senior here at Solomon High School, and after graduation, I plan on attending Wichita State University and majoring in nursing. I have 2 siblings. I have a sister, Reagan. She lives in Manhattan, and a brother, Logan, who is graduating also in May. And then my mom, Loretta McMillen, and dad, Hunter McMillen.
Awesome. So go back. What's your brother graduating in?
My brother, like his major?
Yeah, what's his major?
I couldn't tell you exactly.
And where's he graduating from?
He's graduating from Southeast Community College in Nebraska.
Okay, good.
It's some sort of GM program.
There you go. I knew that's what it was. Sorry, I was sort of leading into the fact that, there's so many different things. And he's one of those that I knew that went in a good direction, is what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just opportunities that we don't always hear about. In Southeast Nebraska, Community College does a great job on preparing them, whether it's the auto or whether it's the tractor or Caterpillar or whatever world. Yeah. And so that's awesome. That's great. Sorry, the podcast is about you.
No,
it's talking about the siblings. Who cares about the siblings? It's about you.
Because his college experience has been really cool for him, because he's only been at school half the year. The other half he does a workplace experience kind of thing. So that's been kind of cool.
So we'll jump ahead because you led right into it. So let's talk about your workplace experience, because you've had a unique couple years of those experiences. Yeah. Tell listeners about them.
So I got my CNA in last spring, and before that I worked as a dietary aide at Cedarhurst Senior Living, and that's where I continued to work just as a CNA. And so I think being a dietary aide really helped with that, just because I got to know all my residents, and so that was really easy to transfer over. And then right now I'm in the process of getting my CMA so I can pass medications.
Right.
I plan on continuing to work at Cedarhurst throughout that. And then I've also had a workplace experience as an internship at Abilene Memorial Hospital. I followed a doctor around for about 6 weeks, and then the rest of the semester I was in radiology. Perfect. So, School of Nursing, already decided, Wichita State. There's so many areas you can go into in nursing. Yeah. What right now? I mean, it might change, but right now, what are your thoughts on which direction? Right now, I'm really interested in NICU nursing, which is the neonatal intensive care unit, or pediatrics. I've always been really into pediatrics and kids, but I've recently switched over into NICU.
Yeah.
So.
strong heart there, but it's also pretty cool too.
Yeah.
You see the good and the bad, unfortunately. But what a blessing though, to be a part of it. So where did you get your experience in the NICU? Over in Salina?
I haven't gotten any NICU experience actually.
Oh, okay.
I know they do have an internship there in Salina. I was going to do it for my spring semester, and then they were full. So
okay,
yeah.
Well, good. Well, Wichita State's a great place to get that experience. As a great nursing school, so you'll be good there. So switch back a little bit. I know 30 some days, but as you reflect upon the whole time you've been at Solomon, right? Okay, so all your time, talk about a few of the teachers that you might give some shout outs to.
Okay, I would say Miss Kilgore. She really helped me develop a sense of like my personality and like who I wanted to be. Mr. Norgren.
She probably corrupted your mind on the KU side too, right?
Well, I was a KU fan before that, and then I recently switched more into K-State.
That away.
I think it's because my sister's been living in Manhattan,
right.
So naturally I just have to switch with her.
Yeah.
And then Mr. Norgren, he is one of my favorite teachers. If you ask him about being a pink beret, he could tell you all about it. But and he also has always encouraged me in track from when I was in middle school. He wanted me to do cross country, and after years of begging, I finally indulged in it, and I tried it out my senior year, and I really love it.
Good.
So it's something I've continued to take outside of school, and I'm actually running a 10K later this month over spring break.
Oh, that's awesome. Where at?
Manhattan.
Cool.
For St. Patrick's Day.
I was going to say, was the St. Patty's Day one. Yeah, awesome.
And he's always encouraged me in track and everything I've done, especially my schoolwork. And then another teacher would be Kyler Stein.
Yeah. Because
my sophomore year, he really got me into powerlifting and like saw something in me that I didn't really believe in myself I could do, but he encouraged me to do it, and I got first place at that meet.
Awesome.
So, and I'm going to continue to do it again this year. I took a break last year.
Good.
And then my final teacher, I would say, would be Ashlyn Guerrero, or Geese, I think now.
Geese now. They come here and they're single, and then they get married. They change their names. I always forget them too.
I never had her as a teacher, but she was my cheer coach for 2 years. And I absolutely loved her as a cheer coach. She had competitive cheer experience.
Right. And
I had a gymnastics background. And so we could relate about so many things. And after gymnastics, she kind of helped me find a love in cheer that I had to replace from gymnastics.
Oh, you're being modest, by the way, when you say you had a little bit of a gymnastics background. But you might talk about that a little bit because of the cheer and the gymnastics, and then talk about, it wasn't just a little bit of gymnastics, it was a lot. So talk about your experience growing up and being dedicated, because that is a whole different level of dedication, gymnastics. And then how you talked about Miss Guerrero Mrs. Geese, and how her competitive cheer and how that comes out and how that translated. Just talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, so when I was growing up, my dad always wanted me to do wrestling because that's what he did.
and now you should have done that this year. I
went to a couple meetings last year, and then they told me I couldn't dual sport, so that kind of took cheer out of the equation for me, and I had to choose. So after he finally gave up on the wrestling dream for me, then he finally allowed me to do gymnastics. I started that when I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And then I continued to do it for 7 or 8 years, I think. I had my last season my freshman year, and it was just due to like coaches kind of ruining the sport for me. So I decided to take the chance and do
uber competitive.
Yeah.
Lots of meets, lots of travel.
Yes.
Lots of success you've had.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're being very modest, by the way. Okay.
I am. I guess I should just touch base on this because I did go to nationals in Savannah, Georgia. That was super fun for me. I got 3rd, I think.
Right.
I think I got 3rd.
Right.
So and then all the state meets, those were fun. Those were like my bigger accomplishments, I guess I could say. And then when I tried out for cheer, I was really nervous that I wouldn't be able to like tumble the same or do like the same aspects, but with having Ashlyn, and she was like, I'm here for all your tumbling and everything, and I'll help you. So that kind of I had to struggle with like tumbling on gym floor rather than like mats.
Sure.
And so she kind of helped me get over that. And she was just able to tell me like what corrections I needed to make, which like other people can't do, because they'll be like, oh, that's really good, but it's like when Ashlyn's watching me, she's like, no, you need to go higher, you need to set, and it's like people don't understand that.
She gives that constructive criticism and allows you to grow.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I didn't even ask this. Thoughts of, I don't know how cheerleading works in college.
Yeah.
Thoughts of cheerleading at Wichita State?
Yeah. I've gone to several clinics this year for it. They have tryouts May 2nd through the 4th. So I will be trying out for that, which I'm super nervous about. But
you'll do great.
They're looking to expand their team into like a more competitive and then more like game day kind of style.
Sure.
Because they do go to competitions and nationals in Florida, like Daytona every year. So, yeah.
Well, good. Best of luck. You'll do great.
Thank you.
You'll do great. Especially with all the gymnastics background and everything, I got to think that's a huge advantage.
Yeah.
So, as you talked about your workplace experience, your gymnastics growing up, the teachers that have impacted you, you've had a full career, you might say.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of the story that you just told about Mrs. Geese and her giving you the constructive criticism, or, you know, you also talked a little bit about how, you know, I'm telling you, dedication to gymnastics or anything outside. Yeah. You know, we have those that are in the theater or whatever else. It's a different level of commitment, because here you have a coach, you have everybody else around you, but you are on an island by yourself. So I didn't know if there was anything, maybe another event here at school or anything that you've done that has played a part in it.
I'm sure there is one, but I can't really think about it right now.
I'm putting you on the spot. Which, as you get ready to go across that stage, you've had two siblings that have given you great advice, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, just wonderful advice. I'm sure they have. What about advice for others as they get ready to come up? Anything that you'd like them to say, hey, do this, you're going to be successful?
I would say if you're not happy with something, make the change. Like, do whatever you can to make yourself happy. That's just something I had to learn with gymnastics. Like, my freshman year, I wasn't really happy. I had to miss out on a lot of school events. I didn't go to the street painting or any of the homecoming dances my freshman year. And I kind of felt like left out about that. And I wasn't happy at gymnastics either. So making that change with quitting and trying something new allowed me to make new memories and everything. And then don't give up. Just keep trying. Find a way to like make everything work out. And really just like spend time with your class, make memories, try something new. I would say come out of your shell as much as you can. Like, I would say shy every year until this year. I've really come out of my shell. I think part of that has been because of being a CNA and just talking to residents and all their families. But I would say like coming out of your shell is like the best thing you can do for yourself.
I think I've heard the last two that you talked about. I've heard, you know, but I think there's a huge amount of wisdom in the first one you talked about. And that's a life lesson that it might have been hard at the time, but boy, is that something you can have in your hip pocket that you can pull out and go, hey, I'm not happy. We're going a different direction. Because a lot of times people don't get the opportunity to struggle while you have the support at home, while you have the people surrounded that love you, right? And so a lot of times the first time you hear that is when you're gone. You're out of Wichita State. And so it might have been tough, but boy, that's awesome. And that's a very deep a reflection, by the way.
And I try to take that with all my minor things too. Like, if I'm not happy with the grade I got, do something to make it better. Like, it goes along with everything. Maybe I should have studied a little bit longer. It goes with friendships and everything.
Yeah. You can't be upset if you didn't put the time in. Yeah, that's right. So, well, thank you for sitting with me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
It's been a good discussion. Any last words for the listeners or anything?
I don't think so.
Nothing? Are you excited or nervous for the next 30 plus days?
I'm super excited. I'm ready to graduate. I'm ready to decorate my dorm and move away from home, meet new friends. I'm excited for all the new experiences next year. Right.
So, we wish you nothing but the best. It'll be awesome. And you'll do wonderful things in the world. So thank you for sitting on the couch today.
Thank you.
That wraps up another wonderful discussion with one of our seniors. And we wish everybody a wonderful spring break. We'll be back here on March 24th for Kids in Session. And I hope all of you have a safe and wonderful spring break.